Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Colbert Vape Report. I am your host, Stan Colbert, and today we are going to be looking at this big bastard, the Aerotank Turbo. At first, you might notice my face is a little red. I'm breaking out for some reason. I got something here on my nose that really fucking hurts, and something down here. It sucks. So let's start out by talking about it a little bit. It is a 6 milliliter quad coil tank. Yes, this has 2 coil heads in it. It is 6 milliliters. It has a large adjustable airflow valve, which I will show you down in the close-ups, just like the Giant and Mega. It's made out of 304 grade stainless steel. It has a replaceable Pyrex glass tank and an adjustable 510, and it measures 30 millimeters by 78 millimeters in circumference. Now, where can you get this and how much does it cost? Well, the website I'm on right now is vaporbeast.com. And they have it for $39.95. So you can get this for $40. And they say this tank will screw onto and work with most devices with a 510. However, the large circumference is perfectly suited for 26650 mods. Don't let the tank get below 1/3 full of e-liquid, because this can make it leak because it loses vacuum. When the atomizer heads wear down, the tank may leak, and leakage may signify a need to change for new heads or that the tank has been overly tightened. First, we'll vape on it. I'm vaping this on the IPv2 at 24 watts, and this is with fully open airflow, the 5 airflow holes. And I'm going to do a lung hit. So as you can see, it does put out quite a lot of vapor. But for me, the flavor really isn't there. That's one of the cons with this device. Let me take it down to 1 air hole and do a mouth to lung. You do get pretty good throat hit off the 2 coils, but I prefer it pretty much wide open. You can hear how loud it is, though. I mean, my mic is sensitive, but this thing is fucking loud. So it does put out great vapor. It holds quite a bit of juice. Not as much as you'd think, because when you fill it up, you'll see down in the close-ups, you can't really fill it up all the way from the bottom. It has adjustable airflow, which is nice. It is heavy as hell. I mean, it makes this thing very, very top-heavy. There's really not a good way to balance it. And it looks really weird on here. You can see it hanging off the edges. Well, I don't have a 26650 mod. They recommend this is run at least 20 watts up to 25 watts. I have found that at 25 watts, it does tend to get a burnt taste the coils can't keep up. But at 24 watts, it's perfect for me. So let's dive up close, take a look at the Aerotank Turbo. Alright, so here we have it, the Kanger Aerotank Turbo. And you can see just how big this thing is. I wish I had my Nautilus here to show you in comparison, but I don't. It does have a removable drip tip. You can take off right there. And you can see down inside there is the 2 airflow channels for your coils. I believe this top part can unscrew as well. Take off this here. And you can see down in there, there are your 2 coil heads that sit in there. So you can take that off for cleaning and whatnot. The threading on this is actually pretty nice for a tank. I haven't really had any issues with the threading. And the finish on it's very good as well. I haven't had any burrs, any noticeable burrs. You can see though that the ring is a little bit shinier than the outer rings. You can see the glass on the inside there, and your 2 tubes. And here we have the adjustable airflow ring. Now this is fully opened at 5 air holes. Well, you turn it to the left, and you can completely close it off, no airflow, so if you want to prime your coils, or you can have it open to just 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 airflow holes. Here on the bottom, you see it says designed and manufactured by Kanger. It has CE and the recycling sign, and it does have an adjustable 510, silver-plated copper 510 connection. Now, how to take this apart. You would think, oh, you just unscrew the bottom, right? No. And that's one of the issues I do have with this, is that it uses this little ring right here. Now you can see, though, that the bottom still moves. It shouldn't do that. Even though this ring is completely tight, this bottom part still moves. That does bug me a little bit. But you just take this middle part and you twist it, and it undoes your threads. Eventually, it takes forever. There we go. And here you have your part that holds your two coils. You can see this is a dual coil tank. Well, actually it's quad coils, 2 dual coils. And here is the inside. When you fill it, you would just fill it on the outside rim, but make sure you do not fill it up past these little holes here, or you will get juice in your mouthpiece. You do not want that. But you can see why there's a problem with how you fill this, because you would fill it to the very top of these without covering them up, but you still have all this space in here where more juice could sit. So you end up, whenever you do fill it up, you end up with some empty space in your tank. I don't like that. I wish they could have made a better design that would allow you to actually fill up your tank, but that's how it seems to be with a lot of these bigger tanks. After you fill it up, let's put the bottom back on. Screw on this bottom ring. Sorry guys, I'm trying not to get juice everywhere and I'm failing at it miserably. There you have it. You have a fully completed Aerotank Turbo. So let's set this off to the side here, because I did forget to show you the packaging. You can see it says Aerotank Turbo, quad coil capacity 6 milliliters by Kanger Tech. It has this little flip open thing here, and then this top flips open. You have your instruction pamphlet, which does go into very good detail. Make sure you look at that. You have your authentication papers, so you can scratch off your code, check for authenticity. You would have your big bastard right here, nothing underneath, and 2 extra coils. So let's go up to the main view again, and I will give you my pros and cons and my final thoughts of the big bastard, the Aerotank Turbo. So the Aerotank Turbo, is it worth your money? Well, let's go over some pros and cons. Pro, it has very nice airflow. It's a very well built device. It has a replaceable 510 drip tip. It comes out to about 1 ohm with both coils in here. And it has decent flavor. Cons, it is very, very, very heavy, because it's made out of mostly 304 grade aluminum, or steel, excuse me. Another con is it does have this much airflow, and it is very, very loud. So you have to keep that in mind. If you want a quiet device, this is not the device for you. Another con I have with this, because it has 2 coils, what if one coil dies before the other one? How would you know which coil is dead? That's an issue. What you'd have to do is you would have to take out the coils individually, place them in a different device that takes a single coil, and test the coils there. So that's a major con for me, is that since there are 2 coils, if one dies and the other doesn't, you have to go through extra links to test which one is the right coil that is not dead. Put it in a different device, test it. If that's not the right one, you have to try it with the other one, and keep going through that process. So that is a con. But for $40 on vaporbeast.com, can I say I can recommend this to somebody who wants a tank? Yes, I would give it probably 8 out of 10, because it is so heavy, it is so massive, when it really doesn't need to be, when you can't even fill it all the way up with liquid. And you can see the liquid level in there. It's only about to there, and that's pretty much as full as I could get it. And with it being so loud, so heavy, and having dual coils and not knowing which one is going out, that's why I give it an 8. If they could, for one, make it quieter, make it lighter, and maximize their juice holding capabilities, I would raise it up to probably about a 9, 9.5, because this does put out a lot of vapor for a tank device. as much vapor as I've got out of any tank device I've ever used. And I love the airy draw. I use drippers, I love an airy draw, so this is good for me. If I take it down to one air hole and want to do mouth to lung, I can do that also. It is still a little airy, but... But I really wouldn't recommend it for that. I would recommend it for the completely open airflow, mouth to lung hits, and getting a dripper-like feel off of a tank. Like I said, this does not have amazing flavor by any means, which you think it would with the quad coils. I don't know if it's just their coil design or what, but I really don't get any better flavor off this than I would a single coil device. So I think the dual coil is just a gimmick, truthfully. But you do get 6 milliliters of juice, and you do get the airflow. So you have to weigh your pros and cons. Big, heavy, loud, or a lot of airflow, a lot of vapor out of a tank. So that's my 2 cents on the Big Bastard Aerotank Turbo by Kanger Tech. Hope you guys enjoyed my review. I'll see you in the next video, and as always, happy vaping.